Let us listen to chapter 15 today. The music of the birds and the rustling of the waters of river Sona were waking them up, and soon they were awake. Even before they could get up, Vishwamitra was by their side, and he said, "Children, the dark night has passed, and the dawn is fast approaching. Let us hurry and make preparations for the journey." Rama, with his brother, soon went to Vishwamitra. Ready to leave with them, he asked Vishwamitra, "My lord, this river does not seem to be fed enough with water. I can see sandy islands here and there, breaking the even flow of the river. Where are we planning to cross?" "We will follow the path of the rishis who have gone this way before," said Vishwamitra, and the troop walked fast towards the north. After a long trudge, when the sun had reached the zenith, they saw in front of them the broad expanse of the sacred river Ganga. They were thrilled at the sight of the river with swans and lotuses floating on its surface. They stood for a while looking at the beauty of the waters, and they made up their minds to spend some time on her banks. As usual in the evening, they sat round Vishwamitra. Rama asked the rishi, "I want to hear the story of this sacred river Ganga. She is called Tripataka, the river with the three paths. How did she purify the three worlds and finally reach the sea, the lord of all rivers? I am very eager to listen to the thrilling story." "There is a mountain by the name Himavan," began Vishwamitra. "Himavan is the lord of all mountains, and he had two daughters who were unrivaled in beauty. Their mother was Mena, also known as Manorama. Ganga was the elder of the two daughters, and the younger one is known by the name Parvati and also by the name Uma. The Devas wanted Ganga for themselves. They went to Himavan and asked him to make a gift of his daughter to them. Himavan agreed, and Ganga, who converted herself into a river, flowed in the heavens, and her waters purified whatever it touched. She was famed as Mandakini in the heavens and is also known as Akasha Ganga. The other daughter Uma performed severe tapas, and her devotion was rewarded. Her father gave her to Lord Mahadeva. These two daughters of Himavan are worthy of worship of the three worlds. Rama, one of your ancestors, was a king by name Sagara. He was for a long time childless. He had two wives. One was Kesini, the daughter of the king of Vidarbha. The second wife was Sumati, the daughter of Kashyapa. She was famed for her beauty. With a desire for a child, the king went to the slopes of Himavan with his wives. There he performed tapas. After 100 years had passed, the rishi Brigu came to him and said, "You will certainly become a father, and because of them your name will be ever remembered by the world of men. One of your wives will be the mother of a son, only one son, who will continue the line of the Ikshvakus. The other will be the mother of 60,000 sons, all valiant, powerful, and brave." The princesses were very happy, and they stood before him humbly and said, "Which of us will be the mother of the 60,000 sons? And which of us will bear the son who will continue the line? We are eager to know." Brigu said, "The choice is yours. One of you will have to choose the single progeny, while the other will have the 60,000 sons. Kesini, the elder queen, chose to be the mother of the only son, while Sumati, the younger, was happy in the anticipation of her many sons who were to be born to her." King Sagara took leave of the rishi and went back to his kingdom. In course of time, a son was born to Kesini. He was named as Asamanja. To his dismay, the king realized that this son was wicked in the real sense of the word. He enjoyed doing evil acts. When he was a young boy, he could catch hold of young children and throw them into the river Sarga. He would stand watching them struggling in the water before they are drowned. He would clap his hands in glee. Sagra thought that he would improve as he grew older, but no, he became more and more unpopular. The town folk finally came to the king and told him about the atrocities performed by the prince. Righteous man that he was, Sagara did not hesitate even for a moment. He meted out punishment for such a miscreant, banishment from the kingdom. The one consolation the king had was that Asamanja's son, by name Amshuman, did not inherit his father's nature, but was a good, sweet, gentle child, ever devoted to his grandfather. The other wife of the king, Sumati, became the mother of the 60,000 sons, as had been prophesied. Lusty young men who were very powerful, handsome, and extremely arrogant. They were the pride of the mother. Once Sagara wanted to perform the Ashwamedha. The location of the Yajnahala was beautiful. The north is proud of the powerful Himavan, and facing it in the middle of Bharatavarsha is the mountain Vindhya, which is a large range. These two mountains stand as though challenging each other in greatness. The land between these two was chosen as the site for the Yajnashala. The youngster Amshuman was asked to accompany the sacrificial horse in its triumphant march through all the kingdoms. Indra, who is ever jealous of the kings of the earth who performed the Ashwamedha, was very prompt in stealing the horse and he disappeared with it. The Pandits who were performing the yajna could not proceed with the rituals until the horse was found, and they told the king about the urgency of the matter. They said, unless the horse is found and the yaga is completed, grave disaster will follow. Sagra called his powerful sons and said, you have heard the words of the rishis. Please make haste and go in search of the horse. This sacrifice can be performed without any fault by only very few people, and once begun, it has to be concluded. Please go at once and search in all the four quarters and in the netherworld also. The lusty Kshatriya princes, the Sagara Putras, were very happy to do as they were told. They set out in quest of the horse. With their powerful arms, they dug up the earth. Each prince allotted to himself 1 yojana of ground and dug into it. The entire surface of the earth had been dug up, and they could not find the horse. The earth groaned under the fierce onslaught of the princes. Serpents, animals, and even the Rakshasas suffered, and their air was filled with their cries of pain, which were piteous to hear. When they did not find the horse on the surface of the earth, Sagara's sons entered the nether regions. They saw the Diggajas, the elephants bearing the earth on their mighty heads, Virupaksha, Mahapadma, Saumanta, and Bhadra. But they were not able to see the horse. Finally, they went deep into the netherlands and they came to the vicinity of a cave. When they were wondering as to who was inside, they heard a neighing of the horse. The princes were surprised at this. Promptly, they went inside the cave. It was an ashrama which was more like a cave than usual hermitage. When they went inside, the valiant brothers saw Kapila Vasudeva, the great rishi who was lost in meditation. Beyond him, beyond where he was sitting, they saw tied to a tree their father's sacrificial horse. They were happy that their search was at an end. The sons of Sagara shouted, "This is the thief! He has stolen our horse, and having reached this underground retreat, he has assumed the garb of a sannyasi and pretends to be in deep meditation. Let us punish him." With their minds completely bemused because of their anger against the rishi, the sons of Sagara rushed at Kapila with their hands holding different weapons. They shouted at the great man, calling him thief. And Kapila, opening his eyes because of the noise they made, saw what was happening. He looked at them with angry eyes, and that was enough to reduce all of them to ashes. The 60,000 sons of Sagara were now just a heap of ashes. The rishi went back into trance as though nothing had happened. Sagara, in the meantime, waited in vain for the return of his sons with the horse. Finally, he asked his grandson Amshuman to go and find out what has happened. The young prince went along the path which his uncles had taken and soon reached the cave where Kapila was. Amshuman entered the cave, and there he saw the horse. Amshuman stood humbly and waited for the great man to come out of his samadhi. When Kapila opened his eyes, he saw a young man standing before him with folded palms. Amshuman prostrated before the rishi, and taking the dust of his feet, he spoke to him and told him about his errand. Kapila said, "Here is your horse, child. Indra, as usual, has stolen it and brought it here. As for your uncles, there they are," he said, and pointed to the heap of ashes. "They behaved in an unforgivable manner, and with my looks I burned them to ashes." Amshuman looked around for water so that he could offer the funeral oblations, the tarpana, to his elders. But he could not find water there. But he found Garuda, the brother of Sumati, coming towards him. And he said, "Child, do not be too unhappy. This is but the law of nature. Your uncles, my nephews, were too arrogant to be popular. As for the Anjali you want to offer them, ordinary water will not wipe out their sin. Ganga, the elder daughter of Himavan, is the only one who will be able to purify them. Ask her to come down to the earth. The holy waters of Ganga must wet these ashes. Then, and only then, will they attain salvation. Anshuman was speechless with sorrow and with the stupendous task which he had been asked to undertake. Garuda then said, "That will be later. Now hurry with the horse to the presence of your grandfather and let him complete the Ashwamedha." Anshuman returned to the kingdom with the horse, and the sacrifice was concluded. But the king was greatly unhappy at the turn of events. He did not know how to make the divine river Ganga flow on the earth. After some time, he left the kingdom in the hands of his grandson Anshuman, and King Sagara, accompanied by his wives, went to the forest to perform tapas and then to reach the heavens. Anshuman ruled the kingdom well, and he had no time to try and woo Ganga to come down to the earth. He had a son by name Dilipa. Anshuman left the kingdom in his hands and went to the slopes of Himavan to perform penance in order to get Ganga. But it was in vain. He died without accomplishing his object. Dilipa also suffered the same way. He could not during his reign achieve the desire in the hearts of all of them, the coming of Ganga to the earth and the salvation of the sons of Sagara. Hope you all enjoyed this episode. Please give your feedback on the comment section below. Thank you.